Cameras, are we okay? First of all, apologies for the delayed start. We're finally here. I just introduced the head table. We've got the head coach of DD, Mr. Ricky Ponting, the CEO of DD, Mr. Hemant, and the captain, Mr. Gautam Gambhir. First, we'd just like to play the anthem for this season. I request my colleague Khalid to play the anthem. Okay, thanks a lot. Can I request you all to put your phones on silent? And I'll request Mr. Dua to make the opening remarks and then the coach and the captain.
Hi, good afternoon, everybody. Let me start by apologizing for the late start by 15 minutes. That's due to me and not to these gentlemen. They were on time. I was stuck in traffic, so my apologies for that. It's a start of a new season for us, and honestly, from DD's point of view, I couldn't have had two better individuals that we could have thought on my right and left. So we're very proud and very happy to have two winning IPL players and now a coach on my right and left. So that just speaks volume of what we are aiming for this year and where we want to head and where we will head eventually. So the song that you just saw is a celebration of the uninterrupted and amazing faith that the city of Delhi and their fans have had in us in spite of our seesaw career during the last 10 years. So we're celebrating them more than the team here, and the team will give them something more to rejoice possibly this season, and that's what we're looking for. Thank you once again for coming.
Thanks a lot, Mr. Dua. Can I request the coach?
Thanks, Hemant. Is that on? No better? Everyone can hear me now? Thanks very much. It's certainly a great honour for me to be here and be the head coach of such a fantastic franchise in the Delhi Daredevils. We've been talking a lot over the last few months about this job and about this role, and I was attracted to the franchise because of the people that I knew I was going to be working with. I've had a longish association with Hemant, haven't had quite as much to do with Gautam. Obviously played a lot against him over the years and absolutely respect everything that he's done as a player at international level and IPL level. He's been a fantastic leader of the Knight Riders for a number of years, and we're very, very excited about bringing his leadership and his skill to the Delhi Daredevils team. So I'm really excited about the challenge that we have ahead of us for the next 2 months. We've got a very good squad of players together, one that when we sat down at the auction table, we identified certain players that we wanted to bring into our squad for this season. A lot of those auction sort of people sort of fell into place for us, so we've come together with a really good squad. We've got a squad of a good mixture of youth and also a good mixture of experience, which every team that I've been a part of certainly has. So it's a really exciting time, I believe, for Delhi going forward, and hopefully I can do my bit to ensure that we have some success this season. So once again, thanks very much for coming along.
Thanks a lot, Ricky. Can I request Gautam to say a few words?
I just want to thank Hemant and Didi for giving me this opportunity to be leading the side. Obviously, started with Delhi in the first 3 years of the IPL as well, and then obviously went to KKR. But it's always great when coming back to the place where you actually started. So hopefully I can finish some of the unfinished business which I had, because obviously when you start your IPL career with a certain franchise, you always think of winning the IPL for them. And obviously I've got this another opportunity to do something like that for the same franchise which I started with, and obviously it's a home team as well. So really looking forward to it, and obviously we've got someone like Ricky Ponting, obviously unbelievable player, legend of the game, and at the same time brilliant coach as well, knows what it takes to win, and hopefully with his experience we can actually go all the way this year as well. So really looking forward to it. Thank you.
Thanks a lot, Gautam. The floor is now open for Q&A. You come with a mic. Please identify yourself and identify the person that you want to ask the question. This side first, Kushan.
Hi, I'm Kushan from Preston of India. My question is to Ricky. Before I ask my big question, a lot has gone into training over the past 1 week. So, just want to know, now the dust has settled down, all three have accepted, and people have moved on. But as a former captain, would like to know that, would you call it as a one-off incident, or now that they're talking about a cultural shake-up and whatever has transpired over the years, how Australian team has played the cricket, how do you look at the whole scenario? What's your perspective?
Look, at the end of the day, and this is the first time I've actually answered a single question about what's happened in South Africa over the last couple of weeks. So at the end of the day, as a past player and a past captain, I must admit I was quite shocked to see what actually took place out on the field. The pleasing thing for me is that the guys now, it seems like this whole issue is starting to come to an end. We hear this morning that now David Warner's also accepted his sanctions that Cricket Australia replaced on him, so that means all three of the guys have accepted the sanctions before them, so Bancroft 9 months and obviously Smith and Warner 12 months each. So it seems like it is starting to come to an end. Look, when I was back at home a week and a half ago, if you think it was big news over here, it was just, it was astronomical how big an issue it was in Australia, and rightly so. We as Australians, we like to play the game hard, but we like to play the game fair, and our fans expect that Australian players play that way. And I think the reaction back in Australia was as big as it was because I think the Australian public felt that the Australian players hadn't played the game in a fair way. So I think that's why the reaction was as big as it was. As I said, it seems like it's coming to an end, and that's a good thing for the game's sake. It's a good thing for the players' sake as well, that they can try and get away from it all now, as hard as that's going to be for them. But it's also a good thing for cricket in Australia as well, that now that Test series is over, the guys have got a few weeks to get away from it all and then start rebuilding what has sort of collapsed for them over the last couple of weeks. The cultural issue for me is really a really interesting thing, because if you wind the clock back just a couple of months when Australia won the Ashes like they did, there was no talk about cultural problems or issues whatsoever. So I think a lot of the time these cultural things can be blown out of proportion. They can be spoken about a lot when the reality inside the dressing room is completely different than what is actually spoken about all the time. And I honestly feel on this occasion that the cultural stuff that's been spoken about has probably been blown out of proportion to a certain degree.
Thanks a lot. I think that answers everything.
Hi, I'm Suryanshi. I'm Suryanshi from BBC. I have a question to Ricky Ponting. It's on the same topic, ball tampering. But the question is, John Buchanan has recently said that the coach should be more accountable than the players. And what is your stand? If you would have been one of the members of Cricket Australia, what would have been your stand? I just want to know that.
My stand as far as my action towards the coach, is that what you're saying?
Towards any one of them, the coach or the player.
Oh, look, I think it's hypothetical what my stance on it would have been. I think there's a very big picture there for the World Game's sake, and Cricket Australia, I think, have reacted to what the World Game pretty much demanded. The World Game and the Australian public demanded that these players were dealt with and treated in a certain way. Now, it would appear that, 12 months bans, that would appear to be a very severe ban. If you think back to what the ICC sanction was, the ICC sanction was for one game only on Steve Smith and nothing for the other two. So you can understand that 9 months for Bancroft and 12 months for the other guys is a vast gap or a vast difference between what the ICC deemed fair. So look, I'm not going to comment on what I would have done because I wasn't there, I wasn't part of it, I didn't see it. I know as much as what you guys know. So I think it'd be unfair for me to comment on that.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, let's just focus this on IPL, please. I would appreciate this because whatever he had to answer, we've answered that. No more questions on this topic. Thank you.
Thanks, Mark. Bharat?
So I had the last one on what time.
No, please.
Yeah. Satya?
Yeah.
Satya? Take the mic.
मैं सत्येंद्र अमर यादव हूँ। मेरा सवाल गौतम से, नया सीजन है, आप शुरू की सीजन खेलने के बाद वापस लौटे, तो किस तरह का एक आपने कहा कि मैं एंड करना चाहूँगा अपने किसी आईपीएल का इससे, तो क्या लगता है इसके बाद आईपीएल और नहीं खेलेंगे क्या?
ऐसे मैंने ये बोला था कि जब से आप स्टार्ट करते हैं अगर आप वहाँ पर खत्म कर सकते हैं तो इससे अच्छी कोई फीलिंग नहीं हो सकती। आई थिंक बहुत कम ऐसे लोगों को अपॉर्चुनिटी मिलती है कि जहाँ से वो स्टार्ट करें वहीं पर वो वापस आए। और अगर आपने आईपीएल में देखा है कि बहुत लोगों ने बहुत फ्रेंचाइजीज बहुत यूज कर दी, बट अभी तो फॉर्चुनेट वन कि आपने पहले दिल्ली से स्टार्ट किया, फिर ऑब्वियसली आप वापस दिल्ली आ रहे। तो आई होप कि आई कैन फिनिश माय करियर हियर। इट डजंट मीन एनीथिंग।
यहाँ जिताना दिल्ली जीती नहीं इसको फाइनल हुआ।
बिल्कुल आई उससे बड़ी मोटिवेशन कुछ नहीं हो सकती। आई थिंक we are privileged lot that we've been given this opportunity to create history. अगर आप देखेंगे किसी और फ्रैंचाइज में जाओगे तो कहीं ना कहीं people keep talking about history and legacy, but then we've got this opportunity, 25 people sitting in the dressing room have got this great opportunity to try and create a history of its own and be part of that history, so there can't be any bigger motivation than that, and I hope everyone will be really up for it.
Karishma?
Gambhir, I'm sorry for asking a non-trivial question, but your reaction on Shahid Afridi's comments that he's made on Twitter on Kashmir?
Look, I've already tweeted what I wanted to say. There's nothing more to say about it. I think there's nothing more left for me to talk about because the more I talk about, the more important I will be. So whatever I have to say, I've already written on the board.
Faisal?
Hi, Ponting. I'm Faisal Kamal from Agency France Press. Ponting, we were speaking to a lot of Delhi players all this while, and they just had one thing. They said Ponting is very aggressive. He's hit that aggressive nail on our head. What is the kind of aggression that you're preaching, of course, to these Delhi Daredevil players?
Well, if they think I've been aggressive so far, I haven't even started yet. I think I've tried to be more motivational than anything else. I've just tried to sort of get my points across to the team of how important the team culture and team environment is and how important hard work is and being well prepared for every single situation that might arise in a game. That's the way I've tried to coach. We've been here for 7 or 8, 9 days now. We have worked hard. We've had a couple of practice games, one which was a great success last night. I think it was 222, played 219, so it was a pretty good game of cricket last night. But look, the boys have worked hard. They've enjoyed the work that we've done. I think we've been really specific with the way that we've trained. We've got guys understanding the roles that they're going to be playing in our team, which is also important in this T20 game. But more importantly, I want the guys to work hard, but I want them to enjoy what we're doing. And so far, the enjoyment has definitely been there. And we need to take that on the ground. I think just listening to Gautam then, we've got a change room of 25 players that are very lucky to be there. They've got to understand how lucky they are, and when they get their chance to play, they've got to give their absolute all to win games for Delhi, and that's the bottom line. So that's what I'm all about. I'm here to win. I'm here to win the IPL. I'm here to get this group of players as well prepared as they possibly can be for every challenge that we have, and with the skill that we have in our dressing room, I'm sure we can win a lot of games along the way. So that's all I'll be talking to the boys about, and maybe there might be a bit more aggression as the series goes on.
Suresh, then Rohit, and then Vaibhav. Suresh.
Hi Vicky, this is Suresh from Kantipur from Nepal. What's about the boy from Nepal, the Sandeep? How do you see what him? And the next question is, There was a report on Creek report that there is least chance of Sandeep getting into the team. There was a recent report. Is there how do you see the chance of getting Sandeep into the playing 11?
What I can tell you about Sandeep is he's a very skillful young cricketer. He's a very skillful leg spin bowler. He's got an incredible attitude. He wants to bowl all day, every day. In fact, we've had to, certain training sessions, have to tell him to stop bowling because he's just bowling too much and getting himself a little bit tired. But look, he you know, at the auction, we talked about him. We felt that, you know, to get the right overseas spinner in our squad would be, you know, great backup for someone like Mishra happened to go down. It gives us a great option as well with a highly skilled young leg spinner. And you know, right now he's not the finished product. He's still a work in progress, but we're all excited to have him around. You know, what are the chances of him playing? I'd say he's got a good chance of playing at some stage through the IPL. I think it's really important that he understands that as well, so he continues to be really energetic and upbeat about the way he trains and prepares. And if he keeps doing what he's doing, he's bowled well in the practice games that we've had. So, look, he's a good chance of playing at some stage, and I've really enjoyed working with him so far.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, first of all, very warm welcome. Yeah, well, I'm Rohit from. Yeah, hi.
It's okay.
You can carry on.
Okay. Well, I'm Rohit from TechView. Well, actually, first of all, very warm welcome to both of you, and thanks to Hemant sir for bringing such a strong leadership. Well, question to Ricky. Ricky, we know that Delhi has been, you know, we haven't won the championship, but now we have a coach like who has won 2 World Cups and won championship trophy for Mumbai. So, do you think Delhi can be lucky with Ricky this time?
Oh, look, to be honest, and I've said this to the boys and I've said it to Heyman as well, I don't care what's happened in the past. The past is done. We've got a fresh squad, we've got a fresh leadership group. It doesn't matter what's happened before. We've got a group of players that we think are capable of winning the IPL. So it's my job, it's Gautam's job, it's the management's job, and it's the players' job to make sure that we get the best crack possible. And as I said, I know they're going to be well prepared. The boys are going to be well prepared, both physically, mentally and tactically. And if we execute well during the games, then there's no reason why we can't go all the way. So that's the attitude we've got around our group for sure.
Thanks. Vaibhav?
गौतम भाई आपसे पूछना चाहूंगा कि आप 2 बार कोलकाता का चैंपियन बना चुके हैं। जब भी खिलाड़ियों से बात होती है तो वो ये कहते हैं कि एक टीम को चैंपियन बनाना है, टीम का चैंपियन बनना एक आदत हो जाती है। तो दिल्ली को ये आदत कैसे लगेगी इस बार?
इसी तरीके से आदत लग सकती है कि मैचेस जीत के और I'm sure I think it's a new start, it's a fresh start, and the moment we start winning games, and obviously not only us, but people will start believing that we will turn it around as well. It's very, very important for the crowd as well to keep believing in us, and the only way we can do that is try and play some very good cricket and try and win games of cricket, and that is the only way forward as well. So there's no more, there's no particular theory about winning a tournament. The only way is that you've got to take every game and try and win each and every game possible.
Kushan, then Oravi, and then Shivani.
Gautam, here. Gautam, the question is about the Delhi team spinners. Amit Mishra came late into the season, he had some injury issues. Jayant also had injury issues in the game. And they didn't exactly have a great domestic season coming into the IPL, both Jayant and Amit. And you have Sandeep and Shabaz Nadeem. So do you think, like, with the kind of spinners coming into the spinners' role in the IPL, do you see it as a shortcoming or a weak link in the Delhi squad, like considering Amit Mishra and Jayant's performance in the lead up to the IPL?
Not at all. I think both of them are experienced cricketers. I think Amit Mishra has played around 150 odd IPL games, and he's been around for the last 10 years. So obviously he's got that experience. He knows what it takes to take wickets, especially pressure games as well. And Shabaz is a quality bowler as well, and he knows he's got a lot of variation as well. Jayant, again, a test cricketer you've got in your ranks, and obviously he would be looking for an opportunity as well. Obviously, he's not got enough opportunities, but whenever he's been given an opportunity, he's done pretty well for Delhi. So he would be really looking forward for the opportunities and maybe consistent performance. Very happy with the spin squad, and I'm sure that on that given day, they will certainly deliver for us.
Last 4, Oravi?
Ricky, we both, you and Gautam, have shared some history on the field and played cricket very in a hard way. Now that you have formed that leadership group here, how do you balance this? How do you balance this out when you lead this young group of cricketers here who would like to play the hard way?
I think that's our natural instincts. Our natural instincts are to get ourselves into a fight and then hopefully win it. I mean, when I say a fight, it's the battle on the field, right? We were both batsmen. We wanted to win the contest against the bowler and against the opposition. And I actually love seeing that come out in players. You know, it means that they are very, very competitive and they'll do what they have to do to win games. So I think we'll balance ourselves out really well. You know, whether we played much against each other, whether we didn't play much against others, it's the attitude that we now bestow upon the others that's going to be really important. So, look, there'll be a lot talked about us playing aggressive cricket just because I'm the coach. It's already been spoken about now. We haven't even spoken about playing aggressive cricket around this team. We've spoken about playing like high intensity, high energy type cricket, and with a never say die attitude. It's hopefully going to get us across the line. So look, don't worry about the aggressive stuff. We'll have very well skilled players that will identify situations, play situations well, and hopefully win games. And I'm really excited to have the chance to work with Gautam, with the squad that we've got. I think we'll form a terrific leadership group together, and hopefully we'll win the following.
Shivani.
Hi, I have a question each for Ricky and Gauti. Ricky, my question was a little similar to the aggressive style. You talked about the Australian way, which is to play hard but to play fair. And how much of that have you spoken with the team? Is that really the mantra for the Delhi team? Because you've got a fairly aggressive captain in Gauti as well.
Well, for me, when you talk about aggression, you just talk about doing whatever you can to win games. It's as simple as that. And as I said, I have not mentioned the word aggressive around this team at all. So you can make it what you like.
But it's the elephant in the room.
But I haven't mentioned it, so I don't know what you're talking about really. So look, as I said, I'm coaching this team to win games of cricket. I want them to just know what it's about, to represent Delhi, and to be the most unified group of players that want to play for each other, that want to care for each other, that enjoy the success that their teammates have, but also enjoy the failures along the way. You know, the T20 game is a game where you probably only have 3 or 4 players each game that actually have a good game. The rest of the guys actually haven't had great games of cricket. So you have to embrace that and accept that. And with the group that we've got together, we've got 3 guys from the under-19s that have played together. We've got a lot of guys that have played India A together that know each other really well. We've got a few senior guys that have played a lot of cricket for India together. So we've got a group of guys that already know each other really well and have gelled together exceptionally well. And that's what I want to make sure we have for the next 2 months. If we have that, we have a really close, unified group, then I think we can go a long way.
Last 2, Rohit.
Sorry, I had one for Gauti also. I'm sorry to return to that Afridi issue, but you were the first cricketer from India who actually took him on, and since then we've had some others. Shikhar Dhawan has become the latest. Do you think there's a hesitation amongst India internationals to actually speak their mind out?
I don't know, it depends on the individual as well. That's how I've always been. And I always believe in what I believe in certain things, what I stand for, and I don't need to hide away from that as well. I can't talk about other individuals, it's up to them how they will react about certain situations. Everyone reacts differently, and there are certain things which you want to stand for and you believe in, and that's what I personally believe.
Thank you.
Last 2, Rohit.
Gautam, playing against Indian bowlers, domestic में IPL में, आपको लगता है इस the key होगा क्योंकि especially in the likes of Bhuvneshwar Kumar, knuckle ball है, और Jasprit Bumrah inside जो york मारते हैं, वो जो slow one है, आपको लगता है that going to be the key playing against Indian bowlers in IPL?
It really doesn't matter. I think ultimately it doesn't matter whether I'm playing against the Indian bowler or against the foreign bowler. Ultimately, you've got to beat them on the skill as well. I think if you can beat them on their skill, obviously that is what it is. And it is not about beating Bumrah or an Indian bowler, it is about beating the opposition. Obviously, they're quality bowlers, no doubt that Bumrah is a quality bowler, so is Bhuvneshwar Kumar. But to win a game of cricket, you've got to beat 11 players on the opposite side. It's not about beating 1 or 2 people. So, looking forward to playing against everyone and try and hopefully beat them on the skill and try and beat them on the cricket field as well.
Last question.
Hi, Ricky. My name is Amit. I'm from Economic Times. My question is, to coach a team which hasn't won anything, is it easier or is it difficult as a coach?
I'll tell you in 2 months. Look, coaching any team is a great challenge, and that's the way it should always be. It doesn't matter if that team's had success or not. As we know, it's been the big option this year. Pretty much every franchise has changed its personnel a lot, so every team's got new and different faces in there. And you've got to, as a coach and as a coaching group, we've got to find what we believe is the right combination for every single game that we play, and that a combination that's going to complement one another from number 1 to number 11. So Look, as I said, it's a brand new year, brand new tournament. History's gone and done, and this group's about trying to create some new history for Delhi.
Thanks a lot, everyone. Can I request the three gentlemen to pose for photographs?